Hi and welcome to Best in Tesla and the new show Overflow episode 12. We are seeing Tesla sales returning to normal levels in many places around the world as the new refreshed Model Y is ramping up. And we are even hearing from Tesla staff that they can't even keep up with demand. And even Wall Street is waking up to why Tesla sales are down in Q1. And Tesla's full self-driving system in China is convincing the Chinese consumers that Tesla's system is the best on the market. And more police departments are realizing just how much better EVs really are. And Tesla chargers are shown in a new study to be 10 times more reliable than the competition. And we are seeing that new energy vehicles continues to surge in China, and so does Tesla's sales. And we have Tesla's full self-driving supervised showing up on Tesla's website in the Netherlands. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
We are seeing Tesla sales returning to normal levels in many places around the world as the Model Y refresh is ramping up production. In China, things are already getting back to normal, as Tesla Chan wrote on X. Tesla China sold about 10,600 units of the Model Y last week. It's interesting to see sales increase and stabilize. Tesla had previously sold the old Model Y at a weekly average of around 10,000 units as well. They are on track to sell at a fairly impressive rate. And if we combine the Model 3 and the Model Y sales, we end up with 17,400 units sold in week 12. So it seems like the production and deliveries are already back to normal levels in China. Very impressive transition to the new Model Y here. And we can see that Tesla is only about 0.6% from beating the sales numbers in Q1 year over year in China. Just so freaking impressive what they have been able to do with the transition to the new model. And in Norway, Tesla has staged a comeback in Norway's electric vehicle market with the launch of the new Model Y. With deliveries starting domestically, the new electric crossover has reclaimed its spot as Norway's most registered car this month and year to date. So that is very impressive in a country that is all EVs and all the BEV models are available, and the Model Y has not really been available for a month or so, only the old one from inventory, but it has already climbed back to the top even year to date. And because Tesla doesn't make the old version anymore, they have of course made some good deals on the inventory of the old version, and it seems like they have sold out in most of the US. As Teslarati wrote in their article, since the new Model Y has started production and deliveries, 29 US states has now sold out of the old version. But it is apparently not just the old version that is flying off the stores, as Mari reported and Elon reposted. Tesla service center struggles to keep up with surging demand. Reports out of Skamberg confirmed that many Tesla owners are seeing first-hand service centers are slammed. According to Tesla employee, on the ground demand is so high they can barely keep up. Tesla vehicles are flying off the shelf faster than ever, with new buyers flooding in and pushing service centers team to the limits. Waiting times are climbing, bays are full, and the buzz is real. Tesla's growth isn't slowing down anytime soon. And we could also hear from the plant manager at the Berlin factory when he was asked about the dip in sales in Europe, as he said, "We in the Giga factory do not sell, we produce. The sales figures are the responsibility of our sales organization. However, we know our production figure and our production plan, and we are currently moving production further high. Our delivery locations here and at the airport site in Neuhardenberg are relatively empty, so the cars are quickly entering the market." When asked if he was concerned about the incoming tariff from Trump administration, he said the factory increased localization of suppliers with the recent switch to the Model Y, adding that 92% of components for the EV now comes from somewhere in Europe. This makes us even more resilient to disturbance in the world trade. In addition, we have the highest level of vertical integration at the site, which has already paid off in recent years. Neither the turbulence in supply chain during the corona pandemic, nor the chip crisis or the war in the Ukraine have led to production disruption in our country, only for the competition. And yes, Tesla is the company that is best positioned if there should be a huge trade war. But as AJ also reported, breaking, Tesla sales in Europe is up 69. Of course it's 69.8%. Just released numbers shows that Tesla sold 16,888 vehicles in February, or 6,943 vehicles more than in January. Tesla sold in January 9,945 vehicles. Yes, still down about 40% year to date, but this is of course expected because of the transition to the new model. So what is important to see is the rebound in sales as the ramp in the Berlin continues. If Tesla doesn't bounce back, we would have a serious demand problem. But as you can see, Tesla is up almost 70% from January's numbers, so they are bouncing back very, very nicely, as we have predicted. So even down 40% year to date, Tesla's Model Y is still the best-selling BEV on the continent, with the countries we have full data from. And that only seems to be accelerating now, with the sales surging. Nice. And if you have been following me for a while, you know I'm big on health, as I have been a top 5 free diver in the world, and that kinds of demand me being interested in my health. And that is also why I started taking AG1 2 to 3 years ago. It is not just another green drink. It has probiotics and 75 vitamins and minerals and whole food ingredients to support your brain, gut and immunity. You might have heard of probiotics many times, but what they do is help with a healthy gut. Studies have been done with third-party experts, which shows that AG1 has shown to enrich the gut microbiome, more than doubling the level of friendly bacteria typically found in a healthy gut. So why is that so important? Well, about 70% of your immune system resides in your gut. So for people with a busy lifestyle, AG1 simplifies supplementation. It combines the benefit of a multivitamin, green powders and probiotics into one easy-to-mix drink, reducing the need for multiple pills or products. And AG1 is NSF certified for sport, meaning it's third-party tested for purity, potency and the absence of banned substance. This is a big plus for athletes and everyone concerned about supplements safety and quality. And their ingredients are chosen for their absorbability, like pairing vitamins with cofactors, which may enhance how effectively your body uses them compared to isolated nutrients in some other supplements. So this is just hands down the best option out there in my opinion. So I'm stoked that AG1 is now sponsoring Best in Tesla. It is more than just a habit, it is a health investment. So try it out in 2025 and feel the difference. Join me and millions who swear by it. Check out the link below or scan the QR code on the screen to get your starter kit today, which include 5 travel packs, a year's supply of vitamin D3 and K2, a container and a shaker bottle. And a big thanks to AG1 for sponsoring this video. We are seeing Chinese full self-driving testers showing off the difference between Tesla's full self-driving and systems like Huawei's ADS. Because it might seem very similar, but there are some fundamental differences. Darren made a great video about full self-driving in China with some great commentary on the video. You should definitely check it out. But he also showed that Tesla knows the timing of the traffic lights, which is a very cool feature. I believe that data comes from Baidu Maps. So the reason why we don't have this in Europe or in the US, I think it's because here Tesla uses Google Maps and they don't have this information available. But very nice feature they have in China. But anyway, the car handles the traffic in China very well. Big roads with a lot of cars, scooters, bikes, pedestrians. And as Darren said, it just handles it so human-like and with confidence. Another great showcase, the Tesla system can drive everywhere in the world, and has also come what must feels like out of nowhere for the Chinese people. As I've said, is going to feel the same way here in Europe when it comes here, as many people don't know what Tesla system is capable of. And suddenly we just have cars driving themselves. But in China, they came out of nowhere and just are taking the lead in autonomous driving, as Ray for Tesla also wrote on X. This Chinese driver owned both a Tesla with full self-driving and Huawei i2 M9 with ADS. He prefers full self-driving over ADS for his daily drive. Full self-driving can be activated anywhere he wants, and we have also seen with other videos where it drives on not just a dirt road but on a sand field. I don't believe there is any other system in the world that would be able to drive a pace like that, but Tesla, very, very impressive. But as Ray also wrote, ADS can only be activated in pre-mapped areas, not high-definition maps, but still pre-mapped areas, meaning it can only operate in regions where it has prior data. So it can't drive everywhere like the Tesla system can. And it is still a rule-based solution, meaning it relies on predefined rules like if a pedestrian is detected, stop, which means it struggles in unpredictable and complex scenarios. So even though it's still run by transformers, meaning a neural network, it is not a generalized solution, as it is based on rules and BEV plus transformer architecture. And BEV is not battery electric vehicle, but stands for bird's eye view. So it does a lot of cool stuff and is using a neural network, but relies on LiDAR and pre-mapping and rule-based system. So like this full self-driving Tesla said, full self-driving is fundamentally better. Yes, even though Huawei's system is very capable in the areas it can drive, it is a fundamental different system. And as long as they rely on pre-mapping, it will also be very slow to scale and will not be flexible like Tesla's full self-driving that can drive everywhere a human can. So Tesla's system in China has come what seems like out of nowhere and is now the most capable system in China, and they have just started. Very impressive and really shows the resilience of the system. And if you want to take a deeper dive into this and also compare it to MobilEye system, I made a whole video about this yesterday. Check it out, link down below. And more police departments are realizing just how much better EVs is, and that Teslas are the best deal you can get. And Motor Trend wrote an article on police Tesla Model Ys by Upfit, which is a division of Unblocked Performance, that also showed their new police cars to the LA sheriffs back in January. But as they said in this article, the benefit of electric driving could outweigh any drawbacks. And no, running out of battery doing a chase isn't a concern. South Pasadena Police Department, after buying 20 Tesla Model Ys, our fuel budget from 2022 to 2023 was about $120,000, and for 2023 to 2024 it was about $50,000 and trending lower. Minimum maintenance also eases expenditure while increasing uptime. Yes, this is what I've been trying to tell people from all the way back from one of my first videos on this channel, just how much more affordable it was for me and my family to get a Tesla Model 3 compared to a Mazda 3. I save about $4,000 a year, and I am closing in on 6 years with the old Model 3. So that would be saving about $24,000 and counting. And as they continued in this article, typical each officer covers 30 to 90 miles over their 12-hour shift, well within the Tesla Model Y 311 miles EPA range rating. Plus, there is always the possibility to join the forces with the Los Angeles Area Police Department should a scenario exceed the Upfit Model Y's capabilities, but that hasn't happened. And an officer said that there was generation divide among the South Pasadena's officers, who was warm to the department's Upfit Teslas, but now they are all accustomed to the EV driver, and the consensus is that people prefer the Model Y. And he noted other important benefits. Traditional police training says to take cover behind the engine in a firefight, but that's not necessarily ideal. Different parts of the engine resist gunfire better than others. Our Model Y's ballistic door panels are a consistent protective shield, so getting behind those is safer. Nice. The safest car in the world got ballistic doors to make it even safer for the police officers. Nice, but as he also said, There's much more power than a gas car I'm used to. The steering is also precise, and of course regenerative braking is a benefit only EVs can provide. With this level of connection and control, the upfit Model Y feels as alert as an officer must be when hunting crime. The police officer recalls a high-speed pursuit in rainy weather where the suspect had no chance of shaking his upfitted Model Y. It's a confident, inspiring drive, he said. You need a faster car to get away from us in these. And yet, as the South Pasadena Police Department is proving, EVs are a viable solution for driving conditions that are always demanding and often dangerous. Meanwhile, transitioning to an all-electric fleet is bringing measurable benefits to the area's resident in the form of cleaner air and use of taxes. Particularly when you consider how much time cop cars spend sitting stationary idling, something that is less costly when there is no engine running. Yes, and not having those cars just sitting there idling toxic gas out in the city's air is a huge win for everyone. But let's just hear it from the police themselves.
Advanced EV product, safest cars made with the most advanced technology. My name is Tony Abdallah. I'm a sergeant with the South Pasadena Police Department. I currently run our detective bureau. And in my second life, I am the EV project lead for our transition project for South Pasadena. We were looking for a solution to replace our entire fleet all at once. What we found was Tesla was not only a viable option, but it was the best option. The city's very environmentally and sustainability conscious. We got a much better performing car that costs significantly less to maintain and fuel.
And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla shorts. Charging networks operated by Tesla and Rivian have fewer problems than non-automaker efforts, according to a new Consumer Report survey. What a shocker! Survey's respondents reported problem at Tesla's charging stations 4% of the time and 5% of the time with Rivian-operated chargers. In contrast, respondents said that they experienced problems 48% of the time at Shell charging stations, 43% of the time at EVgo stations, and 41% of the time at Blink stations. No wonder that people don't want to use these charging stations, as it is literally a coin toss for it to be working, and Tesla chargers are about 10 times more reliable. And the most common reported problem were hardware related at 36%. Other issues accounted for 25% of the reported problems, followed by payment issues 23% and charging power 15%. Payment issues used to be frequently cited as the most common issues EV drivers face at public charging stations, so this is a notable different result. But when you own a Tesla, you don't have any of these issues, as you don't have any payment at the stall. It is all just done automatically through the app. You just plug it in and it charges. That's it. It is such a different charging experience charging at a Tesla charger with a Tesla than any other charging providers, and luckily Tesla has opened it up for all EV owners to use. And the Tesla Diner is coming along nicely. It might be the slowest building Tesla has ever done. They started the construction in September 2023, so the Megapack factory in Shanghai has been planned, built and produced Megapacks faster. They also started and finished the expansion of the Giga Texas factory and built the Cortex supercomputer inside it that is already up and running faster. Diners in California is probably very difficult. And Gavin Shoebridge talked at the Full Charge live show and had a message to the charging providers.
When you're planning a charging network, I'm going to teach you to suck eggs here. This is obvious stuff. First thing, obviously, location, right? It's got to be in a place that has usage demand, right? You've got to have it on main arterial routes, preferably somewhere that's got a cafe or a toilet facility. This is, you know all this stuff, right? This is obvious stuff. The second thing you want to have is, well, it's not really an issue anymore. It's largely been solved by technology advancements, and that is you want it where it's got a reliable or reasonable electricity supply. Like, until recently, if you wanted a 150 kilowatt charger, you needed a 150 kilowatt feed. But now with the advancements in battery technology, in New Zealand, we have a growing number of chargers that have built-in battery banks in them. So they work in the same way that a cistern on your toilet does. You know, it trickle charges all day long, maybe even just at 30 kilowatts. And then, boom, a car takes 200 kilowatts of chunk out of it, charging, trickle charges back up. And it just does this all day and all night. So you can put it in remote locations. For example, in between Sydney and Melbourne, there's a lot of locations there where that could work. Small towns where they don't have the grid capacity for 150 kilowatts, but those systems work. They exist and they work. The third thing is something I've been whinging about for 10 years, and that is I can go into any petrol station anywhere in the world, whether it's in a first world modern city like Sydney or a war-torn hellhole like Perth, and I know that I can buy a tank full of cancer juice using credit card or cash. Electric vehicle charging must be that easy for mass adoption. It has to be. I've been whinging about this for 10 years, so I should be able to pay by credit card, right? You can do it with public transport. Why not with charging? Basically, do whatever gas stations are doing and make it electric. For charging providers who are here today, slinking into your seats because I'm grilling you, it's 2025, sort it out. If I could afford to drop the mic, I would.
And speaking of EV chargers, Sean of the EV Universe wrote, Tesla has partnered with the EV Group, which will roll out superchargers under its own brand in the US. It will own and operate these chargers, leveraging Tesla's hardware and software and service, much like EV Point does in the UK. And new energy vehicle continues to rise in China in March. The Chinese Passenger Car Association expects that Chinese EVs retail sales to 1 million units in March, with penetrations rising to 54.1%, so making the predicted drop and rebound as every year. Overall retail sales of passenger cars in March are expected to be around 1.85 million units, a year-on-year increase of 9% and a month-on-month increase of 33.7%. And there were some stupid comments being thrown around on X about Tesla having bad safety rating, but Tesla came in with some facts. False. Our vehicles consistently achieve top safety rating from independent agencies around the world. Cybertruck received a 5-star safety rating from NHTSA as well. Yep, Tesla is literally setting the standard for safety across the world. But some people just want to hate and don't care about facts. And Keys wrote on X, breaking, full self-driving supervised, now shown on Tesla inventory in the Netherlands. And the rest of the website is still displaying full self-driving capabilities. What does that mean? Well, I think Tesla is getting ready for when they get approval. Not if, but when. And I can't wait. And as Zach wrote on X, 52 miles door-to-door from Irvine to LA tonight with zero disengagement on full self-driving version 12.6.4. No other car brand can do this. Worth every penny. Yep, insane value for money. And to all the cowards that are keying cars in general and keying Tesla, it is not really targeting the people you think it is.
Damaging a personal vehicle does not affect Elon. If anything, it's giving him more money to fix the vehicle that you damaged. It's not damaging who you're thinking it is. But it felt really disappointing that this is happening in such a great country, a great state. So for this to be happening in Kansas, of all places, is super shocking. You have put a very big crisis on me because physically I am in a wheelchair. I just hope that he definitely gets the correct punishment. I hope he pays all of the damages. It is well over $1,000, possibly over $10,000 of damage. I hope that the Wichita police continue to find him. And
speaking of vandalizing private property, the FBI has announced that they are launching a new task force to investigate attacks targeting Tesla. This is domestic terrorism. Those responsible will be pursued, caught, and brought to justice. And SpaceX is developing a new Starlink dish meant to offer gigabit internet speed. It's possible SpaceX will release a gigabit dish later this year, but that depends on whether the company's Starship can successfully deploy version 3 Starlink satellites. This dish was mentioned in the webinar for Starlink resellers, according to a person who watched the presentation. SpaceX webinar also mentioned releasing a refreshed flat for enterprise buyers. The company has already discounted the existing flat high-performance dish from $2,500 to $1,500, a sign it's trying to clear out inventory. And Tesla Thailand held a very cool Model Y unveil event.
Stylus in this groove.
And we can see in Europe that BEVs in January to February 2025 had a 15.2% market share and petrol 29.1% market share. So probably won't be too long before we see BEV catching up to petrol cars here in Europe. And that will be a day for celebration. And we are seeing Wall Street waking up and actually talking about the real reason for Tesla's decline in sales, as Piper Sandler analyst Alex Porter has reiterated a $450 price target on Tesla, adding that Tesla's brand damage may be exaggerated. No, you think? Alex said, it's incorrect when investors and or journalists point to politics as the primary driver of Tesla's double-digit year-over-year delivery decline in Q1. Yes, exactly. Alex cited supply issues rather than demand weakness were a key factor. In addition, Alex believes multi-week shutdown impacted all 4 of Tesla's Model Y factories, limiting the company's ability to fulfill orders even if demand had been significantly stronger. Piper Sandler also see potential catalyst ahead for Tesla, including new product unveiling in the coming month and the highly anticipated robotaxi launch in June, and the firm feels these developments could help offset concerns over recent delivery trends. Yep, Tesla will always be a bumpy ride. When we look back 10 years from now, it has truly always been only going one way, and that is up. Just look back to 2018 when I started investing in Tesla. On the 23rd of March in 2018, the stock price was about $20, and today it's $278. That is up 1,285%. And it has also been a very bumpy ride, but being up over 1,000% in 7 years, I think it's safe to say the trend has only been going up. That is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research, charts and spreadsheet also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.